Okay. I think there's a little bit of a lag, but we're just going to go for it. So, hello. Hello, Elizabeth. Uh, it's okay if you can't stay long. There will be a replay and you can enjoy it. But for those of you who want to hang out, let me just... a little bit of a lag. Okay. Gotta get rid of that. Anyway, so I am going to open up the chat so that I can keep track of what y'all are talking about here. Let's see here. I should do lives more often. I think it would help me to know what the actual crap I'm doing. Let's see. Let me pull up the chat somehow, some way in my software. Chat, where are you? Oh, well, I'll just keep track of the chat over on the actual page. Hello, Donna. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm so excited. Ow! I cannot wait. So, I'm sorry about my camera. I'll try not to make y'all sick today, but I got a lot to cover. Okay. I wanted to just first introduce you guys to these 6 colors. Now, these colors are currently in production and being shipped out to distributors. Daniel Smith doesn't sell the paints themselves. So they ship to distributors, distributors sell to stores, and so on and so forth. So, if you want to get your greedy little hands on these like I did, then you've got to keep your eye out. You can go online. I know there's some companies who are pre-selling these right now. So just go, I think, I saw a video where the artist was talking about these colors and she actually gave a link to a shop that is pre-selling. Just go on and do the old Google and look up Daniel Smith new colors, and yeah. So they will be coming available throughout spring and summer and then just like globally. So keep your eye out for that. But as a brand ambassador, I've had the opportunity to have these colors in my grasp. Here, let me make sure that we're showing all of these. I know, I'm like, should I hide my face at this point? I think I might, I don't know. I'll keep my face on here. Maybe I'll just move my... so that you can still see the colors and sort of see me. Okay. All right, that looks pretty dang good. All right, hello. Oh my gosh, hi Pepper. Hello Jesse. Wow, you guys, Tori, Betsy, Jamie. Hi Jamie. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. There's so many of you today. So, I know, Jamie, we've got to figure out who's got the pre-sales. We're going to work on this later. Maybe we'll go explore that together. I wish I remembered the name of the artist who had a link to that, but I'll go see if we can find it. But I just want to show you these. I'm really excited. I've got them. So here they are. Oh, la, 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 la. They're just so pretty. The Merry Artist. Yes, Elizabeth. The Merry Artist is selling them. But like I said, that's a pre-sale. And I've never bought from Merry Artist, so I can't speak to that. I usually buy from Blick, and I don't know how long before Blick will have them. Probably soon. So they're already in the new brochures. Like if you get a new Daniel Smith brochure, or if you go on the website, this is all in the website. So I have poured these into pans, but they only come in 15 mil tubes so far. So maybe later they'll release more, but for now they're 15 mil tubes. And Betsy says, Daniel Smith's my favorite watercolors. Yeah, hello. And here's the crazy part about these new colors. I feel like you either love them or you hate them. So Daniel Smith has been releasing more like of the opaque, semi-opaque pigments. So the colors that have white in them. So out of these 6 colors, we've got 3 here that have white pigment, PW6. And that's these 3. Guys, I just can't stop thinking about Starburst right now. Like, that's what the whole time I've been playing with these, I'm like, oh yeah, Starburst for sure. So, I mean, come on. It looks like candy. Starburst right there. And these re-wet so easily. So these three right here are so juicy and so re-wettable and so mixable. And then these three over here, so this is our earth pigment. This re-wets beautifully. I'm going to show you in a minute. These two, I would say the Manganese Violet re-wets the least easily, but it just needs a minute. Some pigments just need a minute, especially like those manganese pigments. They need a little bit more finessing. And then here we've got our Cobalt Green Deep, and I've got to say this is the color I've been the most excited about. So this is going to be a great addition to my mixing recipes. I've started a mixing recipes series, and so anyway, yeah, I'm craving Starburst as well, Jamie. It's okay. We can crave together. And Betsy said they look like candy or macaroons. Yes. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. I did a painting last night of macaroons with these, so I can't wait to show you. Okay, but what I think I want to do is introduce them kind of one by one. So we'll start with the first one. I only have about an hour today, so I want to get to it. So the first one is Jaune Brilliant No. 1. It is a series one on the light fast, which is excellent. So excellent light fastness, non-granulating, and semi-transparent. Are we saying semi-transparent or are we saying semi-opaque? I'm trying to remember. Let me pull up my cheat sheet here. I actually made a little document to help me with this because I'm organized. Okay, so this is a semi-opaque. It has PY65, which is this Hansa Yellow Deep, PY65, and PW6, which is titanium white. So here I've got titanium white. So maybe we could mix and see if we can make it on our own. But sometimes it's just nice to have like a pre-mixed color. You know what I mean? Something that's ready to go. I know, Jessie, the Earthy Red. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Okay, so here's this one, and it's okay. When I was first pouring this in the pan, I asked my husband what it reminded him of because I was thinking like butter maybe, and he was like, "Nope, banana Laffy Taffy." So here we go again with the candy colors. So banana Laffy Taffy coming at ya. And when I do a swatch, I like to try to make it blossom and stuff, but this is a very smooth color. It does not granulate, and it does go down like butter. And so I want to show you kind of what I've done here. So here you can see how opaque it is, saying that these are like gouache. They don't have as much pigment in them as gouache. Gouache is very opaque. But for watercolors, yes, they're kind of comparable to, you know, Holbein. Holbein releases a bunch of their like pastels. And so they do offer these two colors. And I'm calling these the twins. So these are the twins because they are Jaune Brilliant No. 1 and Jaune Brilliant No. 2. And this one is PO62 Permanent Orange mixed with white. Just for your information if you're curious. But let me go back to this. Okay, so what I did is I mixed each of these colors with the other colors. So let's kind of just look and see what we're looking at here. So this is mixed with Jaune Brilliant No. 2. And then this is the Coral Reef, that lovely pink color. And then we've got Earthy Red Light, which has granulation. So these three have granulation. Manganese Violet. At first I thought it was going to be like a buff titanium color. And it ended up kind of separating out. And I flipping love it. And then the Cobalt Green Deep. It gave us this like really pretty green color with separation and granulation. And then over here I just did a really light wash to show you what it can do when used lightly. And then I went ahead and layered one more like mass tone on it. And then this is a color I chose to be its complement. So yellow and purple are complementary colors, and I felt like wisteria would pair really well with this beautiful yellow. And then the next thing I wanted to do, I just want to show you really quick, and let me scooch these out of the way so they're not distracting. Okay, so since we're talking about this one, we'll just focus for a sec. I am so ADHD today, you guys don't even know. It's been a crazy day. Thank you for the plug, Elizabeth. Elizabeth said, don't forget to like the video, y'all, and I really appreciate that. That's very helpful. What did I do with... Okay. So here's my swatch. You guys, I make these swatch cards. I just cut them out myself. Some of them are Bao Some of them are not Arteza. Some of them are Arches. Arch. And I actually have all the Daniel Smith colors swatched out on these cards. And so what I've done is kind of given you some options to look at for colors that are comparable. So let's just take a mosey on down Daniel Smith lane here. So as I said, this is actually Hansa Yellow Deep mixed with white. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's see if I have it here. We've got, okay, I'm going to show you the other yellows. You can easily tell that this has, I'm going to put this here so you know what that is. This obviously is very like toned down. It's very light. It's very delicate. And these are all the other Daniel Smith yellows. Here we go. So there's lemon. Here's cadmium yellow light. Got Indian yellow. So you can see how this is a pretty unique color compared to all the other Daniel Smith yellows. We've got nickel azo, Hansa yellow light. I would say it's close to nickel titanate yellow, but this is definitely cooler. And then cadmium yellow deep, which actually is close to, here's that. So this is what it is. It's Hansa yellow deep mixed with white. So you've got yourself a convenience color. For those of you that are into pastels, this would be so great to use like in your sketchbook. After you're done with a painting in your sketchbook, you can use this to give yourself some little, some little warm like highlights, which is how I like to use opaque colors. Okay. Here's like cadmium yellow medium, but now we're getting into the warmer yellows here. So we'll get into those in a minute as we start talking about this bad boy. So quinacridone gold. Oh, Naples. A lot of people have asked about, these are really important. Let's compare to Naples yellow and chrome titanate yellow. So I feel like these are probably more comparable to the chrome titanate and the Naples. But you could see this would be such a lovely skin tone because used, we'll get to that in a minute, but this used like really lightly washed is lovely for skin. So pigments like these, you either want to water them down or wait till the end of your painting and use them as kind of like a highlight. Somebody asked about New Gamboge. Yes, so New Gamboge. Where's my New Gamboge? It's here somewhere. Here it is. I had it in the oranges. So here's New Gamboge. Okay. I'm going through my oranges. So here's Permanent Orange, which is that one. Okay. Now these cards, by the way, are so helpful to have when I'm planning a painting. If I don't want to sit and swatch out colors and look at my little tiny chart that I put with my palette, this is just a nice way to have things easy and ready to go. Okay, I'm going to clean these up. So hopefully that was helpful to kind of see where this kind of falls in line with everybody else. I say everybody because I don't know. They're like little personalities, aren't they? They're like my little people. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that yellow aside. One last look at Jaune Brilliant number 1. There you go. Okay. Let's move on to number 2. And every time I say that, I think of Austin Powers. If you know, you know. So here's number 2. And this one, guys, if we're talking about candy, circus peanuts. Circus peanuts, am I right? I want to eat it. I won't, but I want to. It's so lovely, and I just want to show you what these look like when you wet them. So these were poured in the pan a couple of days ago, and I've been using them, and I love wetting them because they're so creamy, and they wet so easily. You see that? Beauty. Yeah, Pepper, if you know, you know. Thanks for the abbreviation. Okay, so we already kind of talked about it, but we've got our Naples, our Chrome Titanate, and like I said, this is permanent orange mixed with titanium, or a white, PW6. So, I'm going to save that for a second. Let's see here. That's a yellow deep. PY65 is going to be, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello, Nancy. Don't clean your bathroom. This is way more fun than that. Okay. We're on to number 2, Jaune Brilliant number 2. And so far, we've only talked about these 2 colors, so that's fine. So here's kind of like I would say, really warm yellows, semi-oranges. I kind of see these as orange. I don't know about you guys. Like, school buses to me are not yellow, they're orange. But everybody sees color differently, so. So Isolindoline yellow, permanent yellow deep, Quin gold, new gamboge, and permanent orange, which that's what this is. That is permanent orange mixed with white. So could you mix this yourself? Sure. But then you would miss out on this deliciousness, right? I mean, I don't know. Jaune. Jaune means yellow in French. So it's brilliant yellow. Jaune. Jaune. It's like the N sound in the back of your throat. I took 4 years of French and literally like never get to use it. So I'm really happy about these colors. Yeah. Oops. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to give you a little seasickness there. Okay. So I'm going to gather my colors up. I really feel like if we're going to compare this to any Daniel Smith color, I feel like it really falls in with the Chrome Titanate and the Naples Yellow. But it's its own little friend. It's just like, I just see skin tone. And when you mix it with purples, you can actually start getting darker skin tones. So this color mixed with purple starts to head into like all the different spectrum of skin tones. And so let's look and see what we've done here. So here we have it, pretty mass tone at the top, and then I watered it down. And then I've mixed it with each color. So here it is with Coral Reef, Manganese Violet, and I'm obsessed with this, like what is happening here, because the Manganese Violet is a granulating color. So you start to get separation and granulation. And yes, Nancy, creamsicle, exactly. I was saying circus peanut. So there you go. Starburst, anyone? And then this is mixed with the first yellow, Jaune Brilliant No. 1. So you could actually take that first yellow, mix it with this one, and just get something that resembles like banana. And then Earthy Red Light, granulating, beautiful. And Cobalt Green Deep. And that color is such a great granulator. It is going to be a perfect addition to my super granulating recipes that I make. And then I picked a complementary color. So if you look across the color wheel here, we're looking at this area. When you look across the color wheel, this is what I'm seeing. So I chose, and maybe I was a little bit, I don't know, but I chose lavender as a complementary for this color. And then you can see here the opacity. That pen is underneath the paint, so not quite as opaque as gouache like everyone's saying. Okay, we got to move on. Those of you who are late or have to leave, you're good to watch the replay. It will be up later. Okay, I'm really excited about this next one. This one's really fun. And what's interesting is a lot of people have been saying that it is the same thing as Holbein Shell Pink. And so I actually have Holbein Shell Pink, and I figured this would be a great time for me to give you a quick comparison so you can see. So they are the same pigment number. They are PO73 Pyro Orange mixed with white. And I'm just going to show you the difference. They are slightly different. So Coral Reef is more vibrant, and Shell Pink has way more white in it. So hopefully that kind of helps you. A lot of you have been saying, yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's not quite. It is similar, but it is not quite. I've been using Shell Pink in my travel palette for a while, and it is way more like milky and opaque. So I am really excited about this Coral Reef. So like I said, this is this is a series 1, light fastness rating of 1, which is excellent, non-granulating, semi-opaque, and PO73 and PW6. So like I said, that's basically this mixed with white. Okay, so here's the opacity. You can still see the heart through the paint. And then I've mixed it with the other colors. So here we've got Jaune Brilliant No. 1, Jaune Brilliant No. 2. I'm obsessed with this. This is really pretty. Earthy Red Light. That is gorgeous. Manganese Violet. And Cobalt Green Deep. This made a violet gray. And then after it dried, it separated out. Stunning. So there's that. I wanted to show you wetting this one as well. I'm just kind of obsessed. It's fine. All right. This one does remind me of Pink Starburst. They wet so easily, guys. Like, look at that. Ah, I love it. Now, if I have time at the end, I'll swatch, but I've already got things swatched for you because I wanted it to just be kind of quick. So, that's what I'm doing. Let's compare, shall we? Oh, and here it is, like, if you add a lot of water and just do a really light wash. And then this is Mass Tone layered over the top. I'm loving this. Like, these are all the other colors mixed with this, and it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And I'd like to show you some other pinks that Daniel Smith has, and we'll just see how they compare. So here's Quinacridone Coral. Since we're talking about coral here, I think it'd be fun to add white to this and see how they compare. Quinacridone Pink, Opera Pink, Potter's Pink, Rose Madder Permanent, Carmine, I don't know how to say it, Rhodonite Genuine, and here's a cool magenta quinacridone rose. So it is such a unique color, in that it's a bubblegum pink that's like ready to go. Can you mix this yourself? Yeah, of course. Get yourself some pyrrole orange and add some white. But if you want to have something that you can put in your palette, that you're like your travel palette and be on the go, then this is just such a fun color to have. And I would say this is my second favorite. The Cobalt Green Deep's my absolute favorite. Guys, I can't pick. I shouldn't be saying these things. I'm going to make them feel bad. So I'm going to stop saying those things. I love them all, okay? I don't want to hurt their feelings. Let me clean these up. My studio is a disaster today, you guys. It's a mess. Okay, so we're done with the ones that have the white pigment, and now we're moving into granulation territory. So here is our Earthy Red Light, and this is PR290, a single pigment granulating color. It is a Series 1 light fastness rating of 2, and which is, I think there's, you guys have to tell me if you know how many levels of light fastness. Jamie, it is like picking a favorite kid. It kind of is. So I don't want to hurt their feelings. Maybe I'll secretly tell them who my favorite is, but I'm going to tell each of them they're my favorite. And then it is also, where's my mouse? Let me just, the wording is really interesting on these because it's the same symbol, but some say semi-opaque and some say like semi-transparent, which is weird. So anyway, the Earthy Red Light is semi-opaque. And oh my goodness. It's pretty transparent compared to the ones we just did. You can kind of see how transparent it is. Look at that granulation. So pretty. I'm thinking like red rock. Southern Utah, Arizona red rock here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Sorry, guys. I forgot to tell you the complementary color I chose is Cobalt Teal Blue for this pink. Sorry about that. I told you I'm scatterbrained today. So here it is swatched on, this is Bao Hong cold press paper. Look at that. Ooh, I accidentally dripped something on it, but just ignore that. Isn't it interesting how it can look different on different paper? So this is New York Central cold press paper, and this is Bao Hong cold press. And it's just fascinating. And this is 300-pound paper. I was able to make these nice big cards and not have to take them down. So, okay, let's look at the mixtures. So here's the two Jaune Brilliant, number 1, number 2. The granulation, guys, it's amazing. Okay, let me get the chat back. I got rid of it on it. I need Earthy. Jamie, you do need Earthy Red Light. You do. Yes, I agree. And Jessie, Earthy. Yes, Earthy. Earth tones are my thing. And then here it is with the Coral Reef. Actually, it's funny. Hold on one second. I have this rock here. And that kind of just reminds me of this rock. I don't know. Here's the Manganese Violet and Cobalt Green Deep. This is one of my favorite mixtures, you guys. I did this on my Instagram and on YouTube. I did a short. And this has got to be my favorite mixture that I've had. Let's see here. Cobalt Green Deep and Earthy Red Light. Looks so great mixed together. They're so pretty. Okay, and then this one, the complementary I chose is Sleeping Beauty Turquoise Genuine. And then here it is kind of washed out. And with a mass tone layer. And you can see here how it is pretty, compared to the others, it's pretty transparent. So there's that. And I want to show you how easily this wets. It is kind of, I was using it earlier, but let's see here. Look at that. It wets so easily. It is so juicy and ready to play. Like I said, these don't come in pans. They just come in 15 ml tubes. So I did pour these myself. And let's compare. All right. What are we looking at here? I was thinking like burnt sienna, PR 101, those kind of colors. So I want to do some comparisons. So here is our Earthy Red Light. And I'm going to put this on there so you guys remember that that's what that is. Here we go with burnt sienna light. And I feel like this is one of the closest colors to it. But even though they're similar in color, their granulation is different. Here's a burgundy red ochre. These are some of the more like obscure Daniel Smith colors. I'm going to make a video in future talking about some of the colors you guys probably have never heard of. Here's a really washy Minnesota Pipestone genuine swatch. So you can kind of see. This is more pink. Roasted French ochre, Sedona genuine. You can see that that's much more rich brown, like burnt. Lunar Earth, Fired Gold Ochre, Pompeii Red. I love this color. You guys probably never even tried this color. It's very beautiful. And here's Indian Red. I grabbed it just to show you the difference because my mind was telling me that was going to be Indian Red, but it's so different. Indian Red is like almost a maroon color. And then here is Venetian Red. And they are still pretty different. So Venetian and Indian, I think, are PR 101. So there you have it. I feel like I'm playing a card game right now, or I'm like showing my friends my Pokemon cards. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So, guys, be thinking of mixing requests for these. We'll get there. We're almost there. I have 30 minutes left. So I might be able to go over slightly, but I do have a student here in a little while. So I need to go kind of quick. All right. This one is very interesting. This is Manganese Violet. Now, I heard that Daniel Smith used to carry this color and then it was discontinued. So I don't know if this is a reformulation or what. I'll have to find out the information on that. But Manganese Violet is PV16. It's a single pigment. It is granulating. So Y means yes for granulating. It is also in the semi-transparent category. And hi, Letty. So you'll be happy about this color, Letty. This is very pretty. So here it is on Balhong paper. And then here's the New York Central paper. So you can kind of see the difference. I definitely like it on the Balhong paper much better. And then here you can see the opacity. It's pretty transparent. There's that. Here's the contrasting color I chose. Phthalo Yellow Green. And it just looks so great next to that contrasting color. They are very complementary to each other. So here we go. Here's our mixtures. Jaune Brilliant number 1 and 2. I really like this one. The way that it's separated and the yellow floated to the top is stunning. So some pigments are heavier or lighter. And so obviously the yellow pigment floated to the top and the purple was heavier, so it sunk. Here's Coral Reef. I don't know if I added enough, but Earthy Red Light and Cobalt Green Deep. And this became like a really pretty gray color that separated out. So Letty says it's not a reformulation. It's a new color. So that is very exciting. And then here it is, just a light wash. Okay, let's do some comparisons. Where's my purples, my violets? Okay. I'm going to set this aside I am especially obsessed with these mixtures, you guys. These are like so pretty. So Letty is a fellow brand ambassador from Italy. And so Letitia in the chat, everybody say hi. She's my girl. All right, so let's do some comparisons here. We've got Amethyst Genuine, not even similar. Quinacridone Purple. So maybe like quinacridones are non-granulating, so you can kind of see they're going to be very different. Even though they're similar in shade, their properties are extremely different. So everybody's saying hi to Letty, and I love it. Okay. Ultramarine Red is a really interesting color. And that actually kind of, I don't know, this one definitely has more punch to it. And then here's Imperial Purple, which is magical. If you guys haven't tried Imperial Purple, it's a mixture of pigments and it separates. Oh, it's so pretty. So you can see the difference. This is definitely more blue. Here's Rose of Ultramarine, Wisteria, Carbazole, Lunar Violet. Some of these aren't even similar at all. I just figured I'd bring everybody to the party. Why not bring all the violets to the party, right? So those are there. Cobalt Violet Deep is more blue. Ultramarine Violet. Purpurite Genuine. You guys can see all that. Bye, Jessie. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you later. We'll catch you on the flippity flop. Sugulite Genuine, not even close. Carbazole Violet. And Cobalt Violet, which I actually think these will look really pretty together. And I don't know why this card is so tiny. It's a baby. I love Cobalt Violet, by the way. I think it's an understated. And then Cobalt Blue Violet. So here we brought all the violets to the party. And Letty says Cobalt Violet Deep is the most transparent of the violets. Isn't that one on your dot card, Letty? I feel like I remember that. Cobalt Violet Deep. Where is it? Right here. Hi, Gio. Gio is Letty's man. I was going to say boyfriend, but they're married, so. So there's the Cobalt Violet Deep compared to the Manganese Violet. All right. You guys are going to have to watch the replay, Gio and Letty, because I'm almost on to the final color. All right. So just as a recap, there's Manganese Violet, and I need to show you how it wets. So I have been playing with these today. And this one does take a minute to kind of wake up, but once it does, it's lovely. See that? There you go. It definitely has a little bit of a different texture than, like, it's kind of like a Potter's Pink texture, I would say. Yes, Letty, feedback, do it. I love your feedback. I welcome it. All right, final color. Oh, and I did mention the complementary color. Okay. So this is our final color, Cobalt Green Deep, and I gotta say, this has to be my favorite color. So, this is so pretty. And I want to show you, so Daniel Smith does have Cobalt Green, which is just your basic green, Cobalt Green, granulating, but they're different pigments. And I love making granulating recipes. Like most of you know this. I have like a whole book full of granulating recipes. And this has been the color that I've been missing. Are you kidding me? It's so pretty. This is Bao Hong. And the granulation is so gorgeous. And then here it is on the New York Central paper. So this is a series 1. It's a level 2 light fastness. It's granulating, semi-transparent, and it's a single pigment PG 26. So here you can see the opacity. And then I chose Garnet Genuine as its complement. And then here it is kind of like washed out. It's very lovely. It almost leans a little more on the blue side. And then here it is mixed with the Jaune Brilliant No. 1 and Jaune Brilliant No. 2. Makes some really pretty greenish yellows, but they separate. Cobalt Green Deep. Switch with Terra Verte and Rare Green Earth. I'm going to show those in a second, Letty. I've got my swatches for those two colors. Coral Pink and this mixed together made a grayish purple, but then it separated. How cool is that? And then here's the Earthy Red Light, like we talked about. Remember? Mixed with Earthy Red Light. So pretty. And then Manganese Violet, and it made a really pretty, like a violet color, like a bluish. I can't even tell you what color that is. It's so pretty though. Love that. All right, let's do some comparisons. I've got my swatchy cards. I got my Pokemon cards. Okay, so here's our Cobalt Green Deep. I'm going to put it in the middle this time. And here's Cobalt Green, just to compare. Very, very different. Chromium Green Oxide, very different. Jadeite Genuine, different. Deep Sap Green. It's really fun to see how different they all are. Prussian Green, and I feel like Prussian Green is starting to get there, but they're still very different. Look at the difference in the texture alone and the tone. This is definitely warmer, more yellow. And then this is what Letty was talking about. Terra Verte or Vert. When you water it down, it almost, I don't know. Interesting there. Perylene Green. So do you see how unique this color is? There's nothing like it. Here's Cascade Green, my favorite of the Daniel Smith, by the way. And Rare Green Earth. So, gosh, this is so unique. I feel like this is going to be a really great addition to any like landscape palette. Really great for painting like forests, trees. Just it's so pretty. And when you mix this with other colors, you get some really interesting granulation and separation. So I am so excited. This is going into my travel palette immediately. In fact, I wanted to bring something up. I have been using the Winsor & Newton Cobalt Green Deep. As you can tell, it's almost gone. And they are both, I think they're both PG 26. I can't even read this. It's so tiny. Yep, PG 26. So I'm really glad that Daniel Smith is now offering this because a lot of the other companies already have it. But I much would prefer to use Daniel Smith because I love Daniel Smith. So I also have a Rosa Gallery Cobalt Green Medium. I don't have it swatched out, so I can't show you the difference. But I don't need those anymore. I have this one. So excited about that. I want to hear you guys in the comments. What are you what are you most excited about? Let's show how this rewets. This one rewets beautifully. Very, very juicy. PG 26. Whoops, sorry. Like you barely touch it and it wakes up. Look at that. Let's swatch it. Upside down. Why did I open this to the back page? Oh, this is the back page. Silly me. Hold on. Wrong sketchbook. Wrong sketchbook. It's this one. Okay. This is Fabriano Artistico soft press paper. I don't have a swatch of the Winsor & Newton, but I will tell you they are very... Let's just compare. Why don't we? Let me just swatch this out for you really quick so you can see it. See how easily that wets? Let me get you over here a little bit more. Okay, so that's the Daniel Smith. See, I am like almost out of this guy. Keep in mind this is wet paint straight from the tube. So it's going to be much more potent. I'll water it down a little bit. Pigments, even though there's the same pigment number, pigments will vary from brand to brand just because they're getting their pigments from different sources. They might be using a different gum arabic. They might, their pigments might be ground smaller. There's just a whole bunch of variables that can come into play. They're very similar. But anyway, yeah, Letty was just making a point that these paints are brand new. They just got put into the tube this week. So as soon as you get them in your hands, like they are very fresh. Putting them in the tube was not in the tube. In the pan was very satisfying. But there you have that one. So yeah, you can see how similar they are. I feel like this one might be a little cooler. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Okay. And then here is, I've got Cobalt Green Medium by Rosa Gallery. I know Schminka also has Cobalt Green Dark, which is the same pigment. But yeah, like I said, they're going to be similar. This is Cobalt Green Medium by Rosa Gallery. And it is a little bit more yellow in it. Feels a little more yellow. But at the end of the day, I just love Daniel Smith as a brand. And it's not because I'm an ambassador. I've loved the company. I've loved all the different colors that they offer. So I love that, Wendy, that I've resparked your interest in Daniel Smith. Yes, I love it. So I'm just going to label these so I don't forget. So, my pen doesn't want to work. Of course my pen doesn't want to work. It's because I'm on video. DSWNRG. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is medium. I just need to remember that. All right, does anybody have any like mixing requests or comparisons? I feel like we've gone over a lot. I would love to show you this palette. So this is, watching the mix and mingle is just so pretty. Like right there, that's so pretty. Okay, my studio is a disaster, like I said. But just as a recap, here we go. So we've got the twins. We've got Jaune Brilliant number 1 and 2. Coral Reef. I guess these could be triplets. I don't know. Starburst triplets. Candy triplets. And then I'm missing my red. And then we've got the granulators. So we've got our granulators down here. Now I want to show you something that I did. Somebody brought up candy. We've been talking about like macaroons and stuff. So I want to show you something. This is really fun. I put together a fun palette and I'm calling it my candy palette. This is, oh, it's all wet. Sorry. I just used this last night, so it's all wet. So I'm calling this my candy palette. And I chose a couple of other colors by Daniel Smith that I could add to this to create a full palette. And so we've got Bismuth Vanadate Yellow, Jaune Brilliant No. 1, Chrome Titanate Yellow, Jaune Brilliant No. 2, Raw Sienna, Coral Reef. This is Rose Madder Permanent, Wisteria, Lavender, King's Royal Blue, Cobalt Teal Blue, and Phthalo Yellow Green. And then up here at the top, I've got Buff Titanium and Gray Titanium. And then in the middle, I have white, Titanium White. And I want to show you something I did with those last night. So this is my sketchbook I made myself. It is Fabriano Artistico Cold Press. And so I decided to swatch these colors out using macaroons. So this is Bismuth Vanadate. This is Jaune Brilliant No. 1. And I used a little of the Raw Sienna for the middle. This is Chrome Titanate. Jaune Brilliant. No, this is, let's see. Which one is this? No, this is Jaune Brilliant No. 2. Chrome Titanate. Raw Sienna. Coral Reef. This is the Rose Madder Permanent. Phthalo Yellow Green. Cobalt Teal. Lavender. King's Royal Blue. Wisteria. And Buff Titanium. So that is my candy palette. And I'm going to be using it just to kind of brighten things up. So I do a lot of pet portrait work with my students and I do commissions. And so when I'm sitting on the couch at night with my family and we're watching movies, I decided I wanted to bring in some color and have a little more fun playing with color. So this shall be my candy palette. These colors inspired this palette. And you can add white to it so that if you want to like bring in a little bit of white and maybe like give a little more opacity, you can. So anyway, that's just a fun idea with those. So Nancy, yes, I do make my own sketchbooks. I don't buy them anymore. I invested in all the supplies to make professional sketchbooks. So this one I did make myself. It's vegan magnetic snaps. And yeah, and it's my own brand. I'm not selling these currently. I do sell them to students sometimes, but yeah. And I also made this one. This is also the Fabriano Artistico. This is the soft press. This one's cold press. So anyway, that's super fun. Let's look at these now that they've dried. I definitely like the Daniel Smith one the best. Surprise, surprise. So anyway, these colors are being distributed right now. So if you have a local store that you buy from and they carry Daniel Smith, make sure to ask them if they will carry these colors, because Daniel Smith does not sell them themselves. They send them out to distributors, and then the distributors sell to the stores, and that's how that works. So you have to, we're going to have to work on the stores and make sure that they're going to offer these exciting colors. Let's see, I'm telling you guys, my studio is a huge mess. Let me show you. We're going rogue, guys. Do you see this mess? It's getting a little out of hand in here, but I'm having fun, so that's what matters. Okay, so what do you think? Betsy asked how long the paint has been in the pan. The paint has been in the pan since Friday. So it's, only been a few days. It can take like a week, especially if you're filling up a whole pan like this. It can take a good week for them to really dry down. But even though, like, I put these on there days ago and they re-wet so easily. Look at this. And they're just like creamy, and oh, look at that. They're just, this one reminds me of like a banana Laffy Taffy. Here, why don't I swatch it since I'm getting it all wet? I still have a little bit of time, so we can swatch a little bit. By the way, this is just a serving tray, like a charcuterie tray from Walmart. I just dipped my brush in a little water so I can wash it out and show you. It's so creamy. Sorry if I'm making you guys seasick here. Okay, let's do the circus peanut creamsicle. Look at that. I'm barely touching the brush to the paint. Get a little water. And Coral Reef. I think I'm going to have to do a painting of Starburst or something. And then here is the Earthy Red Light. You see how easy that's re-wetting? And then here is our Manganese Violet. Like I said, this one is a little bit more like harder to wake up, but it's still, oh my goodness. It's beautiful. And then finally we have, again, Cobalt. All of these colors are juicy and delicious, although I don't recommend eating them. So thank you to Gio and Letty for coming and hanging out. You guys are awesome, especially since it's probably like the middle of the night for them over in Italy. I had the pleasure of meeting them and their cute little boy Tommaso last April, and I'm going to see them again this April, so I'm really excited. So here's our colors. Shall we line them up? So yeah, just be on the lookout. Let me go look over at the Merry Artist and see. I know there are companies doing pre-sales right now, but I can't find my keyboard. Hold on, let me find my keyboard. Let's see, the Merry Artist. Oh, cool, they are offering them. Let me switch to screen record and I'll make that big for you guys. Okay, so it looks like, here they are. So this is merryartist.com, M-E-R-R-I, artist.com. I'm going to post the link to this in the chat. Are that I'm obsessed. So we actually in the beginning compared it to A lot of people were saying it's the same as Shell Pink by Holbein. So I did compare. They are the same pigment. Let me go ahead and switch back to desktop. So here we go. So they both are the PO. They're both PO73. But you can see that Shell Pink has way more white in it. And Coral Reef is way more vibrant. So, yeah. And I have Shell Pink in my travel palette. And to me, it's more of a bubblegum, you know, like a really delicate bubblegum baby pink. Whereas this has a punch. I love it. I was playing with, here you go, Buffy, I gotta show you this. So it wets so easily. Look at that. And like these have been poured on this palette for days. And it's just delicious. I love this color. Now, yes, these have white pigment in them. So they're like the pastel. So yeah. And then those of you who are late, I did mix all of these together. So you could kind of see what you could come up with mixing them. And here's the opacity. So anyway, yeah. So those of you that came late, Buffy, you can rewatch, and I actually went over everything. I compared them to all the other Daniel Smith colors that were similar, and we had a lot of fun. So anyway, I have to go now, but it's been so good hanging out with you guys today, and thanks for coming. And let's see here. I gotta go look at the chat one last time. Let's see. Letty said Carnacino Pink by My Mary. Dismissed 30 years ago and is very different. Interesting. Yeah, so Shell Pink. I don't feel like they're similar. Yeah, they're the same pigment, but they're not the same. So this is way more vibrant. Way more vibrant than the Shell Pink. So look. So the Shell Pink is just a little touch more white to it. So anyway, well, Nancy says your studio is not messy. Trust me. Well, for me it is. I am a little bit OCD. I have systems. I'm very organized. It's just my nature. I've been this way since I was a toddler. So anyway, but we're all different, and that's the beauty of it. So all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop.